Hi everybody, it is Max. Macintosh is back again for another video. This week's video is going to be another build a house that I saw while driving on the street earlier this week video. Pretty catchy title there, don't I? Anyways, this one was a doozy. It was hard to build because I realized while it does look cool in real life, in The Sims, it looks much less cool, and I couldn't exactly do what the house looked like. Like, some of the roofing pieces just don't exist in The Sims, so I just took a creative liberty like I do and just did what I thought looked best, and I think it turned out alright. It's definitely a little different. I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for me trying to build it like a real house in real life, but it still turned out alright. And I built it on this lot in Brindleton Bay, but if I'm not mistaken, it is base game, so anybody can download this. Honestly, I don't even know why I built it here. The lighting is terrible on this lot, and I never play in Brindleton Bay. I don't know why, but I always play in Willow Creek. You think I would want to play in a different world, but every single time, I just click on Willow Creek. I don't even know what world I would play in, because Brindleton Bay, I guess, is alright, but it's so rainy, and I don't like the rain too much in The Sims. It's kind of annoying, I think, when it's always raining. And then Windenburg is nice, but I never really build Tudor-style houses, so I feel like it doesn't fit for me to play in that world. I do like to play in City Living, but if I'm trying to play in a situation where I'm painting and I use that one object from City Living to sell them for triple the price, that doesn't exactly work in an apartment, so I don't play an apartment that often because I feel like I'm always doing that. But if I am not doing that for whatever reason, I do like to play in City Living, but I still don't do it very often. I don't know why. Because I like to renovate apartments. I don't know, I just kind of forget that world exists, I think. And what other worlds are there? Let's see. The vampire world. If I'm not playing as a vampire, I never go to that world. It's just very niche. I feel like if you're not a vampire, it's like, what are you doing there? You are going to get attacked by Vlad, for sure. So I don't play there very often. And then we have, Magnolia Promenade. That's not even really a livable world. It's basically just for your shops and things. And there's what is it called? Evergreen Harbor. I don't like that world, to be honest. Like, it's fine, but it's gross. I don't like to play there. But the apartments there, too, are pretty nice. But again, I don't like the world. I just think it's kind of not my style. And then Sulani is beautiful, but I feel like I only go there when I'm, like, imagining a vacation for my sim. Like, I would never live there. Because, like, personally, I don't even like the beach. I don't like sand. The texture of sand just makes me want to scream. I just I can't deal with the texture. So I don't like to live there because then it reminds me how much I hate sand. So I don't play there either. What other worlds am I missing? Are there any? I don't have Strangerville, so I can't play in that world because I don't have it. The university world, what is that called? Brightchester? Is that right? That sounds wrong. Maybe it's right. I don't know. The university world, again, I don't play in that unless I'm going to university, and even then I often play from Willow Creek and go to university from home. So I don't play in that world either. I don't know why. I just don't like the other worlds as much. I just love Willow Creek. Who would have thunk? I like the base game world best. But anyways, I've jibber-jabbered about that for far too long. Nobody needed to hear me speak about my opinion on the worlds. But here we have the house doing some landscaping. Use those bushes that I always use. I can't tell if it's overkill, because I feel like I always use those bushes, but I think they look so nice, so I keep using them. I don't know. People compliment my build still. They haven't told me that I use those bushes too often, so I'm going to go with that. My friends probably wouldn't lie to me. Probably not. I don't know. But yeah, I just put a lot of plants everywhere. I think I kept a lot of the landscaping in this build, actually. Sometimes I fiddle back and forth with stuff a lot, so then I end up cutting it out, or it's like so much of the build is landscaping, and it's like, I don't need like 12 minutes of landscaping in this video. I think that's boring, personally. I like to do more half and half, if anything. I just think the inside is more interesting. Or at least that's what I like best, so I'm assuming other people like it the same. Let me know down below if you want. Do you like to watch speed builds more on the landscaping and the outside, or do you like the interior part better? And speaking of this house, I think this house has 6 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. Don't quote me on that, we'll figure it out in a little bit when we come up on it. But it's a really big house. It was a mistake to make it this big. I was building it off a real life house, so I didn't even think about the size. But honestly, it was too big. There was a lot of space that I was like, I don't even know what to put here. It's like too much space for me. Like the living room especially was far too big. That was my bad. And the hallways are kind of big. Maybe they should just be like empty. But that is weird to me. I need to make smaller houses. And I really want to do tiny houses more. Like I usually do like small-ish houses, but still enough for like a family. But I want to do like tiny houses, like 1 or 2 bedroom tiny houses. I think that would be fun, and it would be a lot quicker. Cause like this build took me, I think, like 6 hours. I don't have time for that right now, really. It really puts me behind schedule. So if I could do some tiny houses, I could still do a nice build. I would enjoy doing something different, and it would not take as long, which is always good for me, I think. And this build is the first build I did using the platform update, I believe. And because of that, I went a little obnoxious with the platforms. It could be worse. I could have used them more than I did. But all of the bedrooms, I think, have a platform of some sort. Some are more irritating than others, which you will see. I think if the last bedroom I do is quite the treat. We'll talk about it when we get there. But I thought I'd try it out. And honestly, I don't love the platforms. I mean, if I was building a split level or like a 70s style split level type thing, or maybe a sunken living room type of deal, it would be good. But I don't often build that. And so me just trying to add them for no reason was not very fun, and I would not recommend doing that. Personally, it was hard, and it was especially hard because, unless I'm dumb, but every time I placed a platform, it got rid of the walls. So then I had to redo all the walls, and that was kind of irritating. And I can't believe I made it through the build dealing with that, because I was about to lose it. I was like, oh my god, if it deletes my walls one more time. But we made it. Didn't even get that mad, more annoyed than anything. But the bedrooms did end up looking pretty cool with the platforms. The one kid bedroom upstairs especially, I think, is really good. I'll mention it when we get there. But right now we're doing the upstairs bathrooms. There's 3 all in a row here. Kind of looks silly when you're doing an overview of it, but I feel like it's practical with having all the Sims here, because you could sleep over 8 here. So, I mean, the bathrooms will be a good thing, I think. And they all are just the same because I couldn't be bothered to do anything interesting. And I kept them all in there just because I kind of did them all at the same time. Otherwise, I probably would have cut them out so you didn't have to watch me build the same bathroom 3 times. But that's alright, it didn't even take that long because they were all the same. And then downstairs, I did, everything else. Did the bathrooms, did my place furniture to make sure the spacing was right and whatever. And I realized this entryway, hallway type deal is really not ideal. It was a real awkward space. Like, I put a little couch by the front door, an ottoman, I think I put some coats and shoes, and a mirror. That's like normal entryway stuff. But then when you go farther back, I was like, this is a whole lot of nothing. So I put the grand piano there just because it filled up a whole lot of space, and just some few little decorations. To me, it looks really empty. That's why I don't like to build houses super big like this. But that's just what happened. So we improvised and figured it out as best as we could. And I don't think it looks bad. It's just, would prefer not to have this much open space of nothing, basically. And in the dining room, I actually quite like this dining room. It's not like super different than what I normally do. I mean, I feel like I always use these table and chairs, but I just think they're so nice. I love them. But I don't know, I just think it looked cool. I like the wallpaper. It's like darker than normal, because I do like this wallpaper for dining rooms a lot. But the darker tone I thought was real nice, because I feel like I usually do like the gray with a lighter wood, but I did the darker one with the blue. Is that gray still? I honestly can't even tell. But anyways, yeah, and then I did this little shindig with the plate cabinet. What is that called? It is not called a plate cabinet. I can't remember, I'm sorry. And then I sized down this little long end table thingy, and then stuff is floating, so I put a little shelf on there to make it seem like it wasn't floating. That's exciting, right? Put a little wall light on. That's crazy. I never use wall lights because they're useless, kind of. But I thought it fit there, and it needed more things on the wall. So that helped me out there. And now we're on to the kitchen, which is far too large for its own good. But I mean, it is a huge house, so it probably makes sense ratio wise. But I kind of get stressed out when stuff is this big. And I did the real dark cabinets here because this whole house is just kind of real dark. That's kind of what I was going for. And I almost put two sinks in just because the window was too wide. And then I was like, that's dumb. Don't do that. And so I didn't. And I took it out, put a dishwasher in, which I don't put in that often. I just feel like it's a waste of time. They'll just wash the dishes in the sink. But if we're going with, like, this is a luxury mansion with some rich family, obviously they'd have a dishwasher because no one wants to wash their dishes by hand. But yes, and I think it looked cute in here. I quite like the big island, even though it is, again, it's far too big for my normal liking, but it looks quite grand, and the island, I think, I don't know, just neat. Like, I just want to, like, lay on it. Like, I just want to, like, belly flop on the island. Is that weird? It's just so massive. It's, like, bigger than my bed. Yeah, anyways, that's a little off the rocker for me. And then I added a cute little breakfast nook, I guess you could say. It's another big dining room, honestly. Like, it fits 6 chairs. But I had too much space in this house again, so we put that in there. I think it was kind of cute. I like the round tables, but in base game, this is the only one that's big like this, and I don't really like the smaller ones as much. I mean, they're good for smaller houses, but I don't think it really fit for this grand 6 bedroom house that I had here. And then I actually put curtains throughout this build. I've been trying to do that more lately just because it is a little more interesting to put curtains. But don't be mistaken, I still hate curtains. If it wasn't for the looks and the aesthetic, I would not add them. I hate putting curtains in the Sims builds because I feel like they always glitch out for me, and when I put the walls down, they're still there blocking the way. Like, they don't always fall down with the walls, if you know what I mean. And that's irritating. So I have a vendetta against curtains in The Sims 4, so I never put them. I just don't understand the purpose, but they're good for screenshots. That's it. And like I was mentioning before, this living room, far too big. I don't know what I was thinking was going to fit in here. So off to the side, we put a little skill building area. I think I put some musical instruments, an easel, a chess table, and some plants, I think. Far too big, so I didn't know what to do, so I just threw that in there. It's probably not the cutest thing in the world, but that's fine. Not everything's about being cute, as long as it's not ugly. We're somewhere in between. And speaking of somewhere in between, that's how I feel about my color choices in this living room. What is it, like light blue / gray couches? Can't really tell. Too close to tell for me. But then the green chairs? Bold choice, but I thought, hey, I think that's pretty neato, so I'm gonna keep it. Now we are on to the bedroom downstairs, where in my head I imagined it as the parents' bedroom, like the main bedroom, because it has an ensuite, I believe. And this is where we started with the platforms, and as you can see, all the walls got torn away, which was really irritating, and I hate that a lot. So probably am not going to use platforms unless I'm like super excited for platforms, because that's a deal breaker. I don't like that it tears away the walls. But I decided to just do a small little step up where the bed is, just for some interest. For something interesting, since we just got the update, might as well make use of it and try it at least once. Maybe I'll figure out something I like, which I did, spoiler, upstairs in one of the bedrooms. There's one little thing that I quite like with the platforms. I'm not sure if I'll do it that often because I hate how it tears away the walls, but I did like that quite a lot. I mean, it's good here. Having the one step up, I feel like it makes it look a bit grand. But unless you have a huge bedroom, it doesn't really make sense. So I guess it fit perfectly for this house because everything was far too big. And there was a lot of empty space, again, in this bedroom. Like the whole house. Because it's too big. I don't know what I was thinking making it this big. Sometimes I just build off reference pictures and I don't think about how it's going to translate into The Sims. And then I'm like, dude, you don't know how to build a house this big. You don't know how to furnish a house this big. Let's clarify that. But again, we made it work. I just need to not do this in the future. And I made another garage in this house, and I believe my last build I also built a garage, so that's pretty exciting. Don't do that very often. It's always good, I feel like, to build a garage just to put the woodworking table in there, and it's realistic. I wish we had cars in the game. There's lots of things you can do with them. Obviously, we have them in other games, and we figured out how to make them interesting. We can do that again. I know they can if they really wanted to. They just don't want to, and I guess that's how it is. But I would love to see cars in the game. It's probably not the priority, but that's how it be, I guess. I don't know. The other thing, side note, that I really want in the game is bunk beds. With the platforms, you can do kind of fake faux bunk beds, however you want to say that. But I want a proper bunk bed in the game. That's all I want. Because obviously I know at this point that the gameplay is never going to do it for me. So we're just going to focus on building, which is good fun. I like building in The Sims 4. Solid build game. I love to build. But I need a bunk bed. Like, I need it in my soul. I won't feel complete until The Sims 4 has bunk beds. If I complain enough, will they give us bunk beds? I don't know, but I'm sure gonna try. It just makes so much sense, especially in a small house. It makes sense to have a bunk bed because then you can fit more kids in there, because I feel like a lot of people play with several kids, or at least, a couple people in the household. It doesn't necessarily have to be kids using the bunk bed, but still, I want bunk beds. It's so practical, they need to add them. Now on to this next bedroom is the kids' bedroom, and this is the one thing that I really, really enjoy from the platform update, is creating this lofted space for a child, more than the one step up, obviously, like you can see, and then use the ladder to get up there. I don't know, but that just speaks to me. I love this. This is the one way I would use platforms continuously in my builds. Like, I just think it looks so cool. And, like, I would love that right now. As a kid, I had a loft growing up, and so I always, climbed up the ladder to bed, and I thought that was awesome. And I could put stuff underneath, and it was all dark and spooky and fun and cozy, and I love that. Obviously, you can't go underneath the platforms, but again, bring us lofts and bunk beds, and then we don't have to worry about this. But I like the lofted space. I thought it was really neat, and this room was really cute. Like, I love this purple and mint green, I guess, color scheme that I was going for. I don't feel like I use these wallpaper swatches very often, so it was really fun, and I enjoyed this room a lot. It's my favorite room in the build, I think. I just think it's super cute. Love the platform loft thing. Ugh. Just love it so much. And then on to the next bedroom. This one has a teeny tiny platform, and I put it in the little window there. I imagined it as like a bench seat. Obviously, it's a platform, so they won't actually sit on it. But in my head, it was like a reading nook where you sit there and look out the window, read a book, drink some iced tea. I thought that would be nice, and that's what I imagined here, because I don't know what else to do with platforms in this room. So I did that, and it was different and cute, and I like it. And it got me to use this bed, which I really quite like. The 3 swatches that it gives you are kind of niche, I would say. Like, this one has flowers on it, and I think the other one is like blue and has like some painting on it. And I can't remember what the last swatch is, if there's only 3. But it's a nice bed. I just wish there was more simpler swatches, because then I would use it more. But I decided to embrace the yellow flowerness of this one and really make this the yellow room. And I added the big bookshelves again, because that one platform thing I thought of as the reading nook, so I thought to add bookshelves. And it needed to fill some space up, because the room was quite big. And put some clutter around there, because it looks silly, I think, without clutter. And then I used this new update item, little pot, from a few updates ago, and added a plant in there, so it looks more like custom and cute, I think. And then we're on to the last bedroom. No, second to last bedroom, because the last bedroom's my favorite. The second to last bedroom. This one also has a platform here, as you can see me mess with. Very irritating trying to get that to work. And the roof kind of glitches in, but I just decided to embrace it and forget that it was there, and I put dark woods floors in so you can barely even tell it glitches in. Or at least that's what I tell myself. I decided to make that a little study office area, and then made the rest of the room just a kid's room with this cute little orange guitar bed, which I think is really nice. I like this bed a whole lot, and the orange is bright and wild to me, so it's always fun to add a little orange color in there. And I just put a little of nothing, knickknacks and toys and this and that. Nothing too exciting, just a normal kid's room. I think I started losing my mind at this point in the build because I was tired of building. 6 hours in, I was like, please God, stop. I don't even know how to think anymore. I barely could focus to begin with. We need this to end soon. So I kind of was just throwing stuff around because I only had one bedroom left after this. And you'll really see me go off my rocker there because it's something. You'll have to see in a minute. I'm kind of impressed that I've talked about this build the whole time during the voiceover. Usually I start talking about something else, but I guess I'm just super passionate about these platforms because I never do this well in the voiceovers, or I never talk about the build this long. Is it good? Debatable. Who knows? I'm a whole bunch of mess in here, but I never talked this long. It's incredible. Oh, and I almost forgot, it's so late now, but I'll say it anyway. If you want to download this build, my gallery username is Macintoshes, spelled the same way as here on YouTube. You can search for it there. I'm sorry, I can't remember what it's called. It might be like Base Game Platform House, or if it's easier for you, I will leave a link in the description to this build on the gallery. And now, we are on to the long-awaited final bedroom. Again, so irritating how the platforms get rid of the walls. But whatever. This is the toddler room, and as you can see, I have decided to make like 3 levels onto this room. So you walk in, and there's like a 2x2 square of the base level, and then up to the right it goes up 1, and then you turn the corner and it goes up 1 again, and then you turn the corner again and it goes up 1 again, and that's where I put the bed. This would be so infuriating playing with, having your toddler have to go up that many steps, but I thought it was funny, and again, I was losing my mind at this point, and so I was all for it. And honestly, it's kind of cool, not practical or maybe aesthetically pleasing, but it's neat. I think it's hilarious and obnoxious, and I love it a whole bunch. I think the first little step up became like the reading nook, or what I thought of as, and the blocks are down there and a few other toys. And then the next step up, we have that dragon to learn your communication skill, and the dollhouse and the potty. And then the final thing, like I mentioned before, is where the toddler bed is. And I put these obnoxious carpets on because, again, this is already a mess of a room, so I mean, I might as well go big and make it as obnoxious as I possibly can. I thought it was hilarious. I think I'm hilarious, apparently, because I enjoyed this far too much. I should not have had this much happiness from them, but I did. I love this for me. But I think we're coming up to the end of the video now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If not, well, thanks for watching anyway. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment something down below, and subscribe for more videos like this. I will see you all in the next video, for whatever that might be. Bye.